My name is Laren. I was a student here on the Performing Arts course at Neath College back in 2012. I am now a professional West End musical theatre performer. So I came to Neath College when I was 16, was it? Straight after school. Did my 3 years on the diploma course, left with my BTEC Performing Arts little degree, and then everything just went so fast. I was auditioning for drama schools, all thanks to Neath College kind of giving me the connections and the research that had been put in and the knowledge that they had. And honestly, since leaving, it's been non-stop. It really has. It's like the odd little break, but generally it's just been, I've just been in shows constantly since then. So I did the BTEC in Performing Arts. I think that was a 2-year course, but when I was here, there was also a gap year course that was created for people that wanted that extra year of experience. So I ended up doing 3 years of training at Neath College. I had the best time at Neath College. There was a laugh a minute, and I think I'm such a firm believer that a nice environment creates the best work. The lecturers were so on a level with us, and we were in such a comfortable zone that there was no fear of exploring. And the thing is, with theatre, you are constantly having to be very vulnerable. You're putting yourself out there to be judged by hundreds, sometimes thousands of people. So those kind of creative environments are so important in how they're set, and it was like perfect how it was managed at Neath College. The lecturers at Neath College were the best around and still are to this day. I've just been walking around the college getting to see everyone like Victoria Burrows, Craig Coombs. The work ethic and the passion that they have is so unmatched. This is why I wanted to come here in the first place. You know, there were talks of other colleges and other opportunities, but Neath College always had there was something about it that really drew me in. And they care so much about you. And again, because there's quite, you know, in terms of the difference of being in a big theatre school, there's so many of you, whereas when there's like a condensed version of it, they have more time to invest in people individually. And we honestly were just given the most incredible experiences. And with that, you know, I was so fortunate to be in all of these amazing shows, like Wizard of Oz and Les Miserables, and I can't even remember, Evita, and playing all these leading roles. But playing leading roles, what comes with that is like experience, and with that comes knowledge, with that comes confidence, and then with that you look for even more experiences further afield, and you want to widen and broaden your horizons, and that's all because of Neath College. Whilst I was at Neath College, my lecturers were Rhian Lloyd, Anthony Argyle, Vicky Burrows, Nia Collier, Craig Coombs, and I'm probably missing some people out. It was such a long time ago. It was 12 years. That's so crazy. But those people completely formed this amazing foundation that I could like propel off of, because they gave me the experience and they gave me their knowledge, and their passion was so infectious that if it wasn't for them, genuinely, I would not have made it anywhere to like where I am now. I wouldn't have come close. It's honestly, they play such a huge part in my journey. My time in Neath College helped me get to where I am now by the drive, the passion, the teaching, the people. That is genuinely why. It's all about work ethic and the love with this job. If you don't have that, you kind of shouldn't bother. I think if you don't love it, you have to love it, because it's tough. You know, you don't know when the next job is coming. It's not certain. The pay slips aren't regular. So if you don't love it or have that drive or kind of passion for it, there's kind of no real point in going for it. You just have to have it to succeed. Neath College was just some of the best years of my life. One of my favourite memories from Neath College was The first show we ever did, well, that I ever did when I arrived, was Hairspray. I was so new. I was really kind of out of my depth. I've come from a school where, you know, I was kind of this big fish in a pond, but then you end up being like this little fish in a bigger pond, and you really want to prove yourself, and you want to be taken seriously, and you want to show what it is you can do. But I was so nervous. I just wanted to kind of see the talent that was there and learn from it. And I played a part called Brenda, one of the nicest kids in town, and that was epic. I had this big wig with all of these like amazing props and crazy costumes. And that, from that moment, I thought, I've made the right decision coming to this college. And it was from the rehearsals that we had as well. The rehearsals were so detailed and fun. And that is what it's all about. When you're trying to create something, you have to feel comfortable. You have to feel like you can make a mistake and not be chastised, or not have someone kind of having a go at you for it. It has to be a very safe environment, and that is what was always created at Neath College. The change of moving from Wales to London was really scary. It was so scary. I mean, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. I hadn't really done that much exploring at that point in my life. So even London seemed crazy to me. And then to think I was going to live there, not knowing anybody, was so scary. The change was massive, so fast-paced. No one kind of acknowledges you in the street. It's, you know, you walk in Port Talbot or Neath and you say, hi, morning. You do that to anyone in London at that time. I mean, sometimes it's fine, but they kind of look at you like you're simple. And I'm going, what is going on here? Why is this weird for you? And it's just not part, it's just, there's too many people to like give time to. Whereas in Port Talbot and Neath, it's just, there's a lot more time you can give because there's far less people. But the change was crazy, and I was glad that I did it, because it did kind of, it has made me who I am today. And it is lovely now though to have that little break, be in the hustle and bustle, but come home, see the family, see my friends, and have a little bit more like calm, a bit more greenery, the hills, the trees, so part of who I am. And when I don't get it, I feel like a little bit itchy. So I'm like, got to get back to Wales for a little bit. My favourite role. It's so hard because they all have something about them that was incredible. So like Brooke Wyndham in Legally Blonde, the most challenging thing I've ever done in my life. Truly, it was like skipping routine whilst singing in an outdoor theatre in the summer in 30-degree heat. Madness. So knowing that I could do that was epic. Catherine of Aragon, Six the Musical, was like, my gosh, I can't even put into words, because at that point it was so new. So taking it around the UK, people were so hungry for it. Then I guess it's so hard. Lizzie Borden, Lizzie the Musical, epic role, so fiery. So my favourite part I've ever played has to be Fantine in Les Miserables, which is amazing because I actually played Eponine at Neath College years ago in Les Miserables, and then got to do it professionally last year. And what was so amazing, even more amazing than playing the role, was that I got to do it at the Wales Millennium Centre in Cardiff. So all the people that have followed my journey from when I was young, from when they used to watch me in shows at Neath College, had seen how I'd progressed throughout the years and got to see me do my thing. And it was such an amazing 360, like, pinnacle moment. I think that was my favourite. Dream role is such a tough one because it changes all the time. I've never been one to have like a real like dream role. And I think if I did, I've probably already done it because it was Fantine. I wanted to be in Les Mis so badly. I love the score and I love how gritty it is and what's required to play the role. And I love the song that she sings and the journey that she goes on. So I wish I could say something else, but I actually think I've played it. Now, this is going to be so embarrassing to say, but I really mean it. I think my favourite person that I've worked with is my boyfriend, Raymond Walsh, who I met on Les Mis. It was just so fun, so talented, and I was learning so much from him because he's got this really amazing outlook on life and he's so great at his job. So I think he's probably my favourite person that I've worked with. And then in terms of like people that I've worked with that I've gone, my goodness, how inspired I've been. I did a show at the Donmar Warehouse in London, and it was Sweet Charity. There was a woman called Anne-Marie Duff. She is an outstanding actress, and I'll never forget, there was a scene that she performed. We were always doing other bits, so we never really got to see a lot of scene work. And she performed this scene. She was on a phone, and it was a masterclass in acting. I've never seen anything like it. It was so inspirational. I learned so much from her. I don't even think she actually even knows how much she taught me and how much I absorbed from her, but she was amazing and the nicest person, which is the most important thing. Growing up, I think very inexperienced and in theatre and not really knowing that much about it all. But I knew a lot about Kerry Ellis and the kind of shows she'd done and the roles that she played. And I thought, my goodness, she's what I want to be. I want to get there. And I'll never forget, she got brought into Neath College to do this masterclass. And I was just in awe of her. And it's so funny because I've been around her now in different circles and things, and it's funny to think that at those moments I go, gosh, if like 16-year-old Laren could see like where I am right now, she'd be freaking out. That's why when I got Fontaine in Les Mis, I was like, the girl that was Eponine in Neath College all those years ago could never even imagine this in her wildest dreams, to be here right now doing it professionally. Mad. My first performance on the West End was at the Adelphi Theatre in Kinky Boots. I was an ensemble member and I was second cover Nicola. And there's this big thing about like, you have to get to, like when you get to the West End, it's like, it's kind of the same, UK tour, West End. I mean, there's obviously, you know, this hierarchy thing, but it's the same. Theatres are theatres, and some of the best theatres are actually, some of them aren't on the West End, some of them are like, because the Edinburgh Playhouse or whatever, they're amazing spaces. That feeling, however, at that point in my life was epic to go, that little girl that dreamt of being on a West End stage is here, living and breathing the moment in an amazing show, and my parents were watching, and absolutely mind-blowing. I always like to go back in my mind to the foundations of where it all began. I really do that, and coming back to Neath College today has been a really emotional experience for me, because if it wasn't for this place, I just wouldn't have done all these amazing things. I wouldn't have. It's coming over the bridge and seeing the theatre and going, that's where it all began, just there. All these amazing opportunities, such an amazing feeling. I'd say one of my biggest achievements in theatre to date, I was very, very, very fortunate to have been nominated for a What's on Stage award for my performance as Brooke Wyndham in Legally Blonde. And it was really funny because I just never thought I was going to win it. I was up against some amazing people from different shows, like epic. And I sat in the theatre and my friend was like, what if you win? I was like, I'm not going to win. She was like, but what if you do? And then the panic started to like set in of like, have I prepared? Am I prepared if this happens? Like, what am I going to say? So I really didn't think it was going to happen. And then they said my name and I just felt like hot. Because again, it's just a really nice feeling that you've been acknowledged for something and all your hard work has been acknowledged. You know, it's not necessarily all about awards, but it was a very lovely feeling, and it's nicely placed in my flat. And I just won a BroadwayWorld Award for Best Leading Performer in a new version of a musical for Lizzie Borden. So again, that was an amazing job, and it required a lot of a lot of energy in very many different ways, touching on very delicate topics, and you know, she was a very complex character and vocally very demanding. So you give a lot of yourself when you do these jobs. You have to invest a lot of your time and your energy, and that's how the industry is designed. So for that job, to have given so much to it and to have received just a bit of acknowledgement, it really does mean a lot. So yeah, very lucky. My advice to anybody that wants to get into theatre in whatever capacity, chuck yourself in the deep end. I promise you that is the only way that you will start to see results. It's scary. We have to be very vulnerable as actors and as performers, just the nature of the beast. But it's done, it happens, and then it's over. So try your very best to drop all inhibitions, turn your mind off and go, what am I trying to gain here? What am I trying to achieve? What can I do to progress and make myself the best version of a performer that I can possibly be? It's all about being vulnerable and open. So take all the opportunities, take all the classes, learn from all the people. You can't learn enough. We're still learning. I'm still learning, and I will be until my dying day. You will never stop learning. So take it all in, absorb everything, grab every opportunity, and just go for it. If you're thinking about coming to Neath College, please don't give it a second thought. Obviously do your research, do whatever it is that you need to do. The training here is unlike anywhere else. There aren't that many places in Port Talbot, in Neath, that kind of give you these opportunities. That, in my experience, in the performance side of things, unmatched. And I will say that with the utmost confidence. You will get so much dedication, attention, and it's the passion that carries this place. So many people have come from this college, and there's a reason why. There's a reason why people are successful that come from here, and it's because of the people that train you and teach you. This doesn't just apply to theatre, by the way. This applies to all the courses. It is renowned for being brilliant. Like I said, do your research, let the rest speak for itself, but hear it from me, come to Neath College.